One could be excused, Madam Deputy Speaker, for feeling this is Groundhog Day, because once again the House is gathered to share our collective concern about plans to approve the Chinese Communist Party's mega-embassy, and once again the Home Office has declined to answer. Now, I did consider rereading my speech from last week, but as I hope we'll get some answers, I've gone back to the drawing board. Now, the Chinese Communist Party plans are not normal diplomatic renovations, and it would be laughable to suggest they are when they are taking place at this location. Had the Minister seen these unredacted plans before their publication? And can she genuinely say she has no concerns if her government approves this shadowy network of 208 secret rooms? Now, given claims that the government and ministers had not seen these plans until last week, surely the government needs time to review them. So can the minister confirm there will be a delay to the decision due tomorrow? Because no one would seriously suggest that in the week that has passed, the government has identified all the mitigations needed to protect our cables and mitigate against these secret rooms. Now, the government has so far shielded itself behind the mundane language of planning policy, but this is not a normal application. So can the Minister confirm whether our allies have been consulted on the unredacted plans, and if so, who? And whether UK government officials have previously denied the existence of these cables to the United States in discussions? Now, last week I asked whether the Chinese Communist Party's ambassador had been demarched and forced to explain his party's duplicity in their application. The Minister declined to answer. It's now been a week. Has the Minister, not officials, finally found time to prioritise national security in hauling the Chinese ambassador? And if not, why not? And what message does that send to China? Now, not once has this Labour government demarched the Chinese ambassador since they came to power, despite cyber attacks, putting spies in this place and putting bounties on the heads of Hong Kongers. What does the Chinese Communist Party have to do for this government to defend us and act to deter future hostile acts? The government tells us security concerns have been addressed, including ones they only knew about a week ago. Tell us how. Finally, Madam Deputy Speaker, the Prime Minister has not yet publicly confirmed his vanity visit to Beijing. Has the Chinese Communist Party made approval of the new embassy contingent on the visit going ahead? The government has a duty to protect our country. Without national security, there is no economic security. This House clearly speaks with one voice on this issue, and that voice says no. So will the government join us, or will they choose a dereliction of their duties?
Minister.
Thank you, Madam Deputy Speaker, and may I also thank the Shadow Minister for her remarks. In relation, firstly, to the Prime Minister's visit, any Prime Ministerial or ministerial travel will be confirmed in the usual way. But it is right, and we are clear, that the planning decision is an independent one for the Secretary of State, for the Ministry of Housing, Communities and Local Government to take independently, and that decision is made in a quasi-judicial capacity. It is also important to say that the decision on the embassy will be taken in the proper way, regardless of any attempts at pressure from anyone, and we have been clear throughout that it is a planning decision for MHCLG ministers. It is important also to recognise that national security is the first duty of government, and I know the Shadow Minister will understand that more than anyone with her own background, and we will always act to protect it. It is taken extremely seriously by the Home Office and the Foreign Office. And indeed, it will be important that we continue to make sure we have conversations, as we do routinely, with our allies, and to recognise that it's important to have those conversations, as we do regularly with the US, to take into account the security and intelligence that we also share on a routine basis, and that we do in relation to China. And that is important because, as I've already mentioned in this debate, where there are concerns about national security, it is important that our intelligence services are involved throughout, and there's a range of measures that have been developed and are being implemented. And I am sure that these are matters that will continue to be part of the debate, and also I'm sure that the Security Minister will address further. But I do want to mention that it is important that we continue to make sure that there is that focus on security, and in relation, as I've said as well, to concerns about those who may experience attempts under transnational repression, that we continue to make sure that we stand up for the safety and security of all of our people in the United Kingdom.